Hey, Fellowship West, it's Casey and Brad here, and we wanted to take a couple minutes before our Sabbath Sunday this coming weekend to talk about what Sabbath Sunday is, why we practice it, and how to prepare and be intentional. So, Brad, why do we not show up to church this Sunday?
Well, we believe deeply at Fellowship West that we are called to be practitioners, apprentices, followers of Jesus. And so Sabbath Sunday is mostly about following the way of Jesus. And so in a world where hustle is king and hurry and it's 24/7, we want to adopt the model of Scripture, which prioritizes work and says yes to work, but also says we're going to take a day to rest. And we believe that you need a rhythm, you need some sort of mechanism to stop, to delight, to worship, and to rest. And so we practice Sabbath Sunday to do those things.
Awesome. Brad just mentioned kind of the 4 pillars of Sabbath. We've talked about them on our podcast, Practicing the Practices. So if you want a more deeper dive into those, definitely check that out. But we're going to talk about them real quick here. And really the word of the day is intention. So this could easily just be any other weekend Sunday where we just don't go to church. Like, that's not what the hope is here.
Right.
The hope is that this would be a set apart day, a holy day, and a beautiful, delightful day. And in order for that to happen, we really need to plan ahead and be intentional. So one of the ways that I'm suggesting, this is super analog. I'm a really analog girl, and you might not be able to see my chicken scratch writing and lines on here. That's okay. Take a paper, divide it into 4, and write in each of these little quadrants the 4 pillars of Sabbath: stop, rest, delight, and worship. And then in each of those squares, you can, if you're on your own, write, if you're practicing Sabbath on your own, you can write in here, you can get your kids and your family, your spouse, and write in a couple ideas for each of these sections of how we're going to implement this into our Sabbath Sunday so that we can prepare. So the first one is to stop. And that's what the word Sabbath means. The word Sabbath means stop. And traditionally, it's a stop from work. And so certainly we would want to stop working. We wouldn't want to do housework or yard work or laundry or grocery shopping on this day. This is a day where we don't work. And instead, we're going to engage in some other things. Another thing that we could stop from is screens. A lot of people stop from spending money on the Sabbath, too. Screens is a big one we're going to talk about on Sunday, so stay tuned. But, that's a way that we numb out. And so what would it look like for us to maybe stop the habit of screens and scrolling and maybe even being on TV for a while to engage in some of these other things? So really think ahead and write down, what are we going to stop doing on this for this 24-hour period? The next one is rest. This is ways that you can replenish your soul. So that might be sleeping in. That might be my personal favorite, taking a nap. I will definitely be doing that on Sunday. I do that every Sunday. That's a big thing for me. I love naps. Maybe also this is non-sleep rest. Maybe it's taking a walk or being quiet, reading. It could be really restful. What replenishes and revives and refills your soul? Maybe taking 30 minutes of silence and solitude. And even if you've got young kids at home, I really encourage you, if that's something that your soul really longs for, maybe trade off with your spouse and each of you take 30 minutes to kind of be quiet and recharge and go on a walk by yourself. That could be part of your rest quadrant. And then delight. This is where we have fun. This is where we enjoy life in the world God has given us. Maybe we're playing board games, making a special meal, going to brunch, eating a special dinner or dessert, eating ice cream for breakfast. Don't tell your parents I said that, kids, but maybe, right? Eating a special treat. And again, that requires preparation because we really need to think about going to the grocery store and getting everything done beforehand so that we can enjoy our fun on Sabbath Sunday. And then finally, worship. And worship is a time where we really want to set aside time on this day to connect with God, to be with Him and be with one another. So maybe that might be like one of you is musical and in your family, one of your kids plays piano or guitar and you sing some worship songs together, listen to a sermon together, read the scripture. I love the idea of maybe taking an extended time of prayer as a family.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't always necessarily in our busy schedules have time to do that. But what if we really talked about what are the needs in our family and how can we really lift each other up? Maybe pray for our church family, pray for our community and our world together as a family. Any other ideas about worship, Brad?
I think one of the best things you could do, and we're going to talk about this on Sunday as well, is write a psalm. Write your own psalm. And so write something to the Lord. So kids, you can do that as well and participate with us. Create a psalm, an offering of thanksgiving, listen to good music. Here's the thing, worship has many forms. The worship is about demonstrating to God how much he's worth. So what would it look like for you to trust him this Sunday and Sabbath Sunday? Like just to give him something like, I'm going to trust you with this. It might mean I'm going to trust you with not looking at my email all day long and let Monday come when Monday comes. And that could be an act of worship.
Yeah, Sabbath really is an act of trust. And that's how it started when God brought it into the people of Israel. It was a way for them to trust that if they stopped working on a day, they could trust him instead of trying to hustle for what
Yeah.
they needed. And so we're going to, in that same spirit, stop working and take the intentional time over the next couple days to really, as you look at your list, think about, what do I need to do in the next couple days to make sure that I can make this happen on Sunday? Whether it's grocery shopping, returning my emails now so I'm not tempted to check them, letting people know, hey, I'm not going to be on my phone on Sunday. So that, one time I was practicing Sabbath and I forgot to tell our family, like our extended family, that we weren't going to use our phones that day. And so I had a family member show up at our house panicked because she
Well
was
checked.
like,
Wellness
wait
check.
a minute, are you guys okay? Nobody's answering their phones. So maybe let people know if you're going to be off your phones. And then get excited together. Like if you're going to go on a hike, plan the hike you're going to do. Make sure you have what you need in order to play and rest and worship together this Sunday.